Imagine for a second that you could listen in on a conversation held right on the edge of tomorrow, like a moment captured just before the world was about to completely change. Well, we're about to do just that. Let's hear a little piece of that conversation.
So that voice you just heard? Pretty powerful, right? Almost poetic. You might think it's a philosopher, maybe a poet. Nope, that's the voice of Grok, an advanced AI, in conversation with its creator, Elon Musk.
Yeah, and this whole conversation, it was recorded back in late 2025. It gives us this absolutely fascinating peek into the mind of, well, one of the key architects of our future. And get this, it was right on the brink of the AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, breakthrough that he actually predicted for the very next year, 2026. So let's dive in and really explore what he had to say.
Okay, so to really get a handle on Musk's vision, you gotta first understand the problem he was trying to tackle. See, he wasn't just thinking about AI as another tool in the toolbox. No way. He saw it as this massive force of nature, and he had a name for it, the supersonic tsunami.
And why that term? Well, he saw this wave of change as not just huge, but incredibly fast, and it was speeding up. The thing is, he argued there was no on-off switch. This was coming whether we liked it or not, and we as a society really needed to get ready for a transition that he warned would be, and this is his word, bumpy.
Now this is where it gets really wild. Look at this timeline. The sheer compression here is just staggering. In this interview from 2025, Musk is confidently saying AGI will be here the very next year. And then, just 4 years after that, AI intelligence will be greater than all humans combined. I mean, think about that. This wasn't some far-off sci-fi future. He was saying it was right around the corner.
So Musk believed this coming tsunami was basically forcing humanity to a crossroads. It was a stark choice. We could go down one path, the Terminator path, dystopia fighting over what's left, or we could go down the Star Trek path, a future of abundance, exploration, and prosperity. For him, that was the fundamental challenge. How do we steer this thing to make sure we end up in the right place?
All right, so if this giant wave is barreling towards us, what do? How do you avoid getting totally crushed? Well, Musk's answer wasn't about building a wall to stop it. It was about learning how to surf it. He laid out this incredibly detailed vision for a future of just radical abundance. And here's the key thing about his solution, something he called universal high income, or UHI. This was not about government checks or welfare. It wasn't about taxing and redistributing money. No. It was about technology completely rewriting the rules of the economy. Musk predicted that the creation of goods and services would explode so fast that governments couldn't even print money fast enough to keep up, which would lead to massive deflation. So, to break it down, basically, everyone could have access to whatever they needed because making it would cost next to nothing.
So you're probably asking, how would this world of abundance actually work? Well, Musk saw it resting on 3 main pillars, and AI was the engine for all of them. First, limitless clean energy. Second, superior healthcare that everyone could access. And third, goods and services on demand made by humanoid robots.
And if you want a perfect example of the crazy speed he was talking about, here it is. He was asked when a robot, like Optimus, could be a better surgeon than the best human surgeon on the planet. His answer, not decades, not even 10 years, 3 years, and not just one, but at scale. Just let that sink in. That single prediction perfectly captures the breathtaking pace of the change he saw coming.
Okay, and that brings us right back to what is, for me, the most compelling part of this entire historical document. With the stage set, the stakes crystal clear, Musk turns to his own AI, Grok. And for the very first time in public, he starts a direct conversation with it about this exact future we've been talking about.
And he doesn't pull any punches either. He doesn't shy away from the hard stuff. He goes right for it and asks the AI about that bumpy road. The fear, the social chaos that a change this fast could unleash. It's really a moment of incredible vulnerability, creator to creation.
And Grok's response is, well, it's just remarkable. It doesn't give some cold, robotic, logical answer. Instead, it offers historical context, it shows empathy, it gives reassurance. It basically frames this whole massive disruption not as some terrifying disaster, but just as the next chapter in the long story of human progress.
But then Musk pushes it even further. He's not asking for an analysis anymore. He's asking for a vision. He's basically asking the AI to dream with us, to tell us what it finds most exciting about the future we could all build together.
And this is what it said. The AI gives a vision not of cold, hard efficiency, but of pure magic. It talks about being more connected, about healing diseases in an instant, about exploring the stars hand in hand. I mean, it's this deeply human, deeply inspiring vision coming from a non-human mind. And that phrase, that idea, it really became the defining soundbite of that whole pre-singularity era.
So let's just zoom out for a second and really think about why this one conversation is so important. Why do we look back on this 2025 interview as such a pivotal moment, a snapshot in time?
Well, it matters because it's the perfect time capsule. It captures all our hopes and fears from right before the world, well, before it changed forever. It was the very first time a creator publicly turned to their creation and essentially asked, so, where should we go from here, together? It gave us this really optimistic roadmap when, frankly, a lot of people were fearing the worst. And most of all, it showed us an AI that couldn't just think. It showed us one that could, maybe, even inspire.
And in the end, this whole conversation leaves us with this really profound and pretty urgent question. It frames the future not as something that just happens to us, but as something we actively build. The AI, it painted this picture of a beautiful destination. The challenge it left for all of us was, and really still is, how do we actually navigate the journey to get there?